Peace, y'all. Peace and love. What's going on? How you guys feeling? How are you guys doing? So on this live, I want to focus on and talk about the power of nothing. And I wanted to ask you guys, how many of you have been taught that there is actually power in nothing, in absolutely nothing? When you're doing nothing, when there's nothing, blank, like how this life is dark, it's blank, it's nothing. How many of you have been taught this concept of nothing, taught the value, actually, the value in nothing, which is the power? Because we have been programmed, we have been um, trained to do something. Like we we have been raised, majority of us, majority of our lives, we have been taught to do something. And we also have been taught that there's value in action, taking action, doing this, doing that, focusing on this, doing that. We have been taught that that is valuable. Action, doing something is value. Having something, being someone. This just action based. But we have not been taught about the value of doing nothing, right? Because we're in this matrix world, right? And this world is taking us down the wrong path. We're heading down the wrong path because we're all doing something, all going somewhere, all trying to be a somebody, have this, have that. So we're not we, because I'm not heading down that path. So a lot of people, I'll say a lot of people are heading down that path of destruction, because doing something is very destructive. A lot of people who are doing something are being destructive because of, oh, you got to do this, that, like, even people that's you know they're they're creating nuclear weapons, and that's doing something, but that's very destructive. you know People are cutting down trees, and that's doing something, but that's very, very destructive. you know um, People are on their jobs doing something, but it's very destructive. Doing something is destructive. It's like it's the path to destruction when you're doing something. But when you're in that nothingness, just alone, in that nothing, in no time, where you exist in no time, you're in no space, you're in nowhere, you're with no one, you're just in that nothing, nothing space. And that's where the power is. That's where you're going to get most of your power, most of your energy. That's where these sources, that's where the sources, that's where God is. God resides in this place of nothingness, right? If you're looking to find God and you're looking to build a closer relationship with God, you're gonna have to go into that nothing space, because God doesn't know you just because you have a name, just because you have a number, status. You know, that's not that's not how God recognizes you. Just because you have, just because you're somebody. God resides in the no place, no time. God exists in nowhere. God is no one. God is nobody. So if you want to become one with God, you have to become a no one, nobody, and you have to exist in nowhere, no place, no time. This is where, like I said, source. This is where God is. This is where the power, true power, is high. The true power is in the nothingness. That's where, like I said, this is where you're going to gather all of your energy. Your real energy is there. The real energy. This is where God is, in the nothingness, in the absolute nothingness is where God is. And I just posted on my page, I posted that the best way to manifest is to do nothing and to become no one. That's the best way to manifest, because God said to focus on Him. God said to focus on the kingdom of heaven, right? Focus on God. And all of these things shall be added on to you. As in, God knows you need to eat. God knows you need clothes. God knows you need shelter. But God said to focus on the kingdom of heaven, focus on God first, and all of His righteousness, right? All these things will be added on to you. So you see where God is telling you to focus. Don't focus on these things. Don't focus on things. Focus on nothing. Focus on God, right? Don't focus on those things. Those things, God knows you need. But God is telling you to focus on the source. Focus on the power that creates. Focus on the power that creates. And the power that creates everything is in nothing. You see how our ancient ancestors, you know, the ancient people that lived for thousands, I will say thousands and thousands of years. These people had a certain practice, and a lot of their practice included doing nothing, which we would call meditation. So the people who meditated, those are the people that lived a very long life, and they were stress free. Now, why would that be? Like, how can just meditation do that? Meditation is the practice of doing nothing. The practice of doing nothing. That's meditation. Meditation, as I'm recording this for myself, y'all, because I have to listen. This is good stuff right here. Meditation is the practice of doing nothing. And so you see where those ancient, like the Chinese, let's say the Chinese, for example, the Chinese, they meditate a lot. The Chinese meditate a lot. Why? Because they know that that's them connecting with God. That's them connecting with the source, which is the nothingness. You practice doing nothing, sitting there and just not doing nothing. Don't think about nothing. Don't get up and do nothing. Just sit there and focus on nothing as long as you possibly can. Uh, I'm talking about as long as you can. If you can sit there and not do nothing for a long time, honey, that's power. That's where the power is. But guess what? That's where the heart. That's where the power is doing nothing. But that's the hardest thing for many people. It's the hardest thing for people to just do nothing. It's the hardest thing. And I know because I have the same issue. I'm here in the flesh. So I understand that it's not that easy to just not do nothing. But since I've been on my journey, I have been practicing doing nothing. And I know that this is where I manifested the most. I manifested the most when I just focused on nothing and did nothing. I meditated more. It wasn't easy getting there, but once I got there, oh, I saw the magic. Because again, that's when you're connecting with God, then you're gonna just experience miracles. So I've experienced miracles when I was focused on God, which is nothing, meditated more, just doing nothing, is where I actually manifested the most, is when I did nothing. I manifested the most is when I did nothing. So, I'm going to go ahead and get back to the nothingness. I'm going to go ahead and go back to being no one. I'm a no one. I'm a nobody. I'm a nobody. I'm going to get back to where I'm just a nobody. I don't live anywhere. I don't have, I don't even I'm barely trying to hang on to my name. But when you're in meditation, your name don't matter. Nothing matters. Your status, where you live, none of that matters when you are in this meditative state. Anyways, so like I said, but the more you can do that, the better, the better. Just do that. Just focus on nothing. Like everything else is just, want to bring everything else is just a distraction, and everything else just wants to bring on stress. Because you just want to focus on stuff. You just want to be something, be a somebody, accomplish this, do that, do that. Just you don't have to do all of that. That's what God is saying. That's what God is saying. You don't have to do any of that. You can just be nothing. You just have to don't focus on nothing. Just meditate more, relax, sit down, relax, slow down, slow down. You are moving too fast and it's causing damage. You're making yourself sick. You're taking your own self out of here by just rushing, rushing. You know how many people died from rushing? Like, there's no rushing. There's no place you're going. You're not going anywhere. So there's no rushing. Imagine if you find out today that you really are not going anywhere. You'll just be like, damn, I was just rushing for no reason. But that happens, right? When you just rush, and then you realize, oh, you rushed, and then next thing you wasn't supposed to, like, you wasn't supposed to be there. Or something just comes up where it's like, ah, damn, I did all that for nothing. I was just rushing for no reason. So imagine if you truly know that you're really not going nowhere. You're not really a nobody. You wouldn't even rush anymore. You'll take your time. You would never rush. Just take your time. Take your time. There's no rush in anything. The only time that exists is now. There's no time. So you don't gotta rush, go anywhere, because you're just hurting yourself. You're putting a lot of stress on your own self when you try to rush everything, trying to be part of everything, and you don't have to do all of that. Just if you try to save yourself that way. You be do the opposite. If the crowd is rushing, you move slow. The crowd is going one way, you move the other way. The crowd is chasing money and cars and women and men and this and that. The crowd is chasing all of that. But God is saying to don't focus on those things. That's what the pagans are focused on. That's what Jesus said. Jesus said that's what the pagans, heathens, that's what they're focused on. They're focused on the physical, trying to get rich type of stuff. That's what the pagans are doing. And Jesus is saying, you don't gotta do that. You can just do the opposite. Jesus is like, God is like, focus on me now. Focus on me. Don't focus on that stuff. Focus on me. Don't focus on these things. You know, slow your rolls. Just slow down. That's how you can save yourself. This is how you will save the next generation. This is how we're gonna change the world. This is how you're gonna change the world. But you have to change yourself first. You gotta do this first. You gotta slow down, slow everything down. Just, I don't know how to. I know this. Hey, I'm just putting it out there. You know, if you have ears, you're gonna hear. Who have ears, let them hear. Cause that's all y'all got for you. You gotta hear. You just hear. Whoever got ears, they can hear this one. I ain't concerned about, not nothing. I ain't concerned about nothing. Nothing. I'm not concerned, worried about nothing. That's why Jesus said, "Don't worry." Jesus said this too. Don't worry about nothing. Not supposed to worry. You're not supposed to worry about nothing. Not even your own life. Like, so there ain't no worry. I'm not concerned about, you know, none of it. But he who have ears, let them hear. Only those who have ears gonna hear this one right here. I'm telling you. Only those who have the spiritual ear will hear this. Those are the only ones that's gonna hear this and will connect with this. But the ones who don't have the spiritual ear, will not hear this. This was never meant for you. It's only meant for those who have ears. Oh, which is very, very, oh my gosh, which is very, very few to nothing, because 0.00.0001 is who will be making it into the kingdom of heaven. The 144, that's real, because imagine there's billions. We have billions of people in this world, y'all. So the Bible is saying it's only 144,000 that's gonna make it into the kingdom. It's only 144,000, 144,000 out of billions. So that's why I'm saying it's 0.0000000.11 that will make it, because y'all, the crowd is just going, they're just going down the path of destruction. They're going down the wrong path. And Jesus said, do not store up your treasures on earth. Jesus is warning us against these things. Don't store up for yourselves treasures on earth. That's what the crowd is doing. The crowd is doing that. You can't follow the crowd, right? So it's not going to be a lot of people that will walk, that will take this righteous path. the path to the tree of good, the tree of life, not the tree of good and evil, but the tree of life. Very, 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 very few will take that path, and only those who have ears will. Make sure I got on. Only those who have ears will actually make it. Only those who have the spiritual ears, which is very, very, very few now, which is very few, very few will make it. Very few will hear this. You know, the message is always going to be out. The knowledge is always going to be, it's going to be out there. Like this is out there. But only a few will gravitate to this. Only a few will gravitate. Only a few will resonate with this one. Very few will resonate. I'm talking about very few. Very few will resonate with this. But but God still said to spread this message, to deliver. I'm still supposed to put the message out there. That's what God is saying. Still put the message out there. God is like, invite everyone. Remember there's a parable in the scriptures where, you know, um, I think it's where the king had a wedding. The king had a wedding, and for his daughter or someone, and the king told his servants to go in and invite people to this banquet. Invite them. Some people didn't listen. A lot of people didn't listen. And then eventually the king was like, you know what? Just invite everyone. Just don't worry about these. Just invite everyone. Everyone. Like the invitation is open. Like everyone is gonna hear. Supposed to hear this message, but only the ones with the selective few. Only the selective few will hear it, and they will come. They will take action. Action as in they will hear what God is saying. They will hear the word. You know, only very few will do that. But I don't mean taking action as in doing something to be a somebody. I'm talking about focusing on the kingdom of heaven and not focusing on earthly treasures. Only very few. Only a few will resonate because a lot of people are trying to get rich. A lot of people are trying to get rich. A lot of people are valuing money. Not even rich, they just want to have a lot of money. People just valuing things. They want to have a house, want to have cars, they just want to have this comfort of life. And a lot of people are on that path. Only few are on more of a natural, um I would say godly path, because if you are doing nothing or becoming nothing, that's you connected with God, and that's a godly path to be on. It's only few, and I am learning to embrace and accept this, because I know how valuable this is. I know the value of it, and I want everyone to know how valuable this is. So I'm still teaching, because I want everyone to know how valuable this is, because it's very valuable. I know it's valuable. I know this is the most valuable information out there. I know, and I want everyone else to know. And so because of that, I'm thinking that, man, a lot of people should be bouncing on this bandwagon. A lot of people should be on this a lot. I'm thinking like this should be like a lot. So then, I get to the point where I'm only seeing one and two or no one. I'm like, wait, how? How can just one or two or no one, you know, is paying attention to this? And I'll be like, wait, How? Because this is the most valuable information out there. And how in the world? Only fucking two people? Or nobody? Or just a few? Just or nobody? Because yes, there's a lot of people that's watching, that's listening. But I'm talking about nobody so far that I know of that's on this path. That's truly on the nothing, nobody, just not valuing all of these things that Jesus, God said not to value. It's very, very few. I haven't met, it's very rare. Oh my gosh, like this is such rare information. That's why it's so valuable because it's so rare. It's so rare that it's so rare that no one is like really trying to no one is trying to do this because it's so rare and people are scared and it's because of people are so afraid of doing nothing even though that's where the power is, even though that's where the real power is, that's where the source is, that's where God is. People are afraid of this. And it's like, but why though? And then I get, you know what? I understand why. I've been there, I'm still working on that too, but I'm on the path of this nothingness. I'm literally on the path, you know, and I'm still working on, removing these things that I'm thinking that's supposed to be valuable. Is still, it's a still work in progress, but I'm here. It's just that I'm still working on not valuing and not storing up any treasures. I don't have a house. I don't have a car. I don't own, these physical things, but I'm still working on clothes because I have clothes. Um, and I recently purchased more, you know, and I'm looking at like, wait a minute, that's storing up treasures because I'm not supposed to store up treasures. So I'm still battling it myself. So I have to completely let go of these clothes too because I'm not supposed to value these things. I'm not supposed to store these things up. So it's a work in progress, and I get it. It's just that I do feel like, because I'm still flesh, I'm here as human in this flesh, in this earthly form. So I be feeling like, what? Why am I not getting no kind of real response to this? Like, it's really, people watch it, but people don't have like no real response. Like when I be like, God said not to store up for yourselves no treasures on earth, it'd be like, they just listen. But it's like, wait, no response. Yeah, but again, I also get it. Many are called, but very few are chosen. So, yes, I have to, embrace that. And that's it. Just know what I'm bringing and embrace the fact that what I have to bring, not a lot of people will jump on board, and that's okay. And that's okay as long as I'm on board and I'm going to continue to be on board. That's important, even if it's just me. Even if it's just me standing alone, even if it's just me alone, then it's like good. I'm grateful because it's just me. So I already know this is gonna be a me journey, and I'm ready for it. One love.